Okay, so now it's time for us to look how we can interact with Schema Registry, how we can work with that. So the first thing I wanted to do is to create this file, JSON producer simple schema. That's how I'm naming it. You can name whatever you want. And also create a schemas folder inside the module 3. Let me move it here. We'll have the schemas folder inside the module 3. And inside the schemas folder, I have this JSON schema that I have prepared beforehand. So you can pause and copy, or you can grab it from GitHub. But basically, I have a schema here, a schema file that defines my data structure, the structure of my events, and I call it user event schema. I have the ID, a schema URL like title, type, some properties if it's required, and additional properties. So this could be anything. I'm just representing here this user event schema that we're going to use to register that to Schema Registry. And the idea is that the producer doesn't need to know the schema logic because the Schema Registry will handle this for you or for us, okay? So we're going to show how we can decouple the schema from the application code, and we can load it like from an external file, just like we're using, instead of hard coding the schema or having no schema at all. Okay, so we're going to see how we're defining it. We just saw it. We're going to see how we're going to integrate with Schema Registry, and we're going to serialize it and make our producer use it. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, JSON producer simple schema. Let's do our imports. Now I'm going to import argparse because I want to pass in the command line where is my schema located. Part system. Let's go ahead. Let's not use the, because this will be a simple one, so we're not using the wrapper for now. We're going to later create a wrapper for the Schema Registry, and we're going to use it in another code. So first, let's just directly use Confluent Kafka, the producer one. Also, Schema Registry, the Schema Registry client. Okay. We also have the JSON schema. So we can import the JSON serializer. And from serialization, let's import everything related to the serialization context, message field, and the string serializer. All right, so now we're just setting up again our login. You can just copy from other codes. That's exactly the same thing we've been doing. Actually, let me just grab it for somewhere right here. That's the same thing, okay? Our core configuration will be defined in our broker that we're going to connect to. Same localhost. Also, now we're going to need a Schema Registry URL. And this is going to be our localhost 8082. That's what we have defined on our Docker compose file. All right, so if we move here on the infrastructure, Schema Registry. Okay, I might need to change this to, let me see here on the multi. Okay, so it should be 881, not 882. Just make sure. Oh, no, I'm mapping the port 882, so it's correct. 882, I'm mapping 882 to 881 inside the container. So it should be good, okay? And we're gonna create a new topic, demo JSON. All right? So the first thing we need to do is to load our external schema. So we're gonna just define a function. So we can, pass this schema via like CLI command when we're running this code. So let's create a function definition named load schema, and we're gonna pass with the schema path, which will be a string, and it'll return a string. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to open that path as read. So this file we can return successfully loaded schema from schema path. All right. So let's call it logger, but just to be easier. Successfully loaded from our schema file. We're gonna return the read if we're able. If we're not able to, if we don't find this file, we can call a file not found, and we can say we can't find is at that path, and we can exit this. Otherwise, let's just throw an exception if something else fails, and I can say an error occurred while trying to load the schema file. Let's print it. So, and we can exit this as well. So with this, we're able to read the schema, just a function to load this schema file that we have here inside this folder. And we can also create the same delivery report function that we can call as a callback, as we've seen in previous implementation. So basically, the Kafka producer sends messages asynchronously. So this callback that we're going to implement will confirm whether each message was successfully delivered or not. Okay, so let's call it delivery callback. We probably have implemented something similar on other code, so feel free to just copy and paste. Should be the same thing. Okay, let's walk through in case you were starting from here for some reason. Okay, so if the error is not none, if we don't get any error, if we get an error, sorry, we'll say delivered failed for a record with the key message.key, and we can say what was the error. All right, then we return nothing. Otherwise, we just log it, delivered record with key message.key, and then we can decode this because it'll be encoded. So message.key.decode UTF-8, because this is going to be JSON, right? So should be good for us. And should we add anything else? Deliver record with the key. Maybe we can we can tell to which topic and partition. So to topic, message.topic, and partition message.partition at offset message.offset. All right, this should be enough. Okay, so this video doesn't get too long. Let's just implement one more. What I want to do now is be able to pass the schema file path dynamically when you're running the script. For example, we can call like Python 3 JSON producer, simple schema dot py, and then we can do something like this: schema file, and then we do like schema user events schema.json. That's what we want. Okay, so to be able to do that, we're going to define a parser, which will be from argparse argument parser, and we can have a description in case someone needs to look more into it. So Kafka JSON producer with external schema. Small typo here. Okay, so it can add an argument to that parser. Add argument, and let's do this: dash dash schema dash file. That's what we're adding. Let's make it required. Okay, and if someone needs more clarification, path to the JSON schema file. Okay, so finally our arguments will be our parser.parse arguments. Okay, so let's stop from here. On the next one, we can do it now. So we can just read the JSON schema. We just get this JSON schema. We'll call the load schema function, and we need to have the schema file argument from our parser. Okay, now yes, in the next one, let's go ahead and create the producer and the serializers and see how we're going to interact with Schema Registry. All right.